gets out as soon as I exit. Right away. Dog walker. As soon as I exit, you can see her straight ahead. Just came outside and I got a dog walker right in front. Notice this now. Now going back the other way. Some stuff out here. Notice now it's stopping now. So I just came out. You can see here. They empty some stuff into the recycling bin. And you can see they got the dog walker wearing the hoodie there as soon as I exit. At 10 at night, almost 10 at night. So they'll always have some stalker coming by here when I exit. Oh, this is the same time exit entries are coming here. Notice that. Look at this. As soon as I leave, it comes out. It's positioned there. Yeah, you got the text message to go out as soon as I left there. See that? Because you noticed how as soon as I came to the driveway, literally the guy appears. And it's like, it's almost 10 o'clock at night right now. So he just decides to show up right in front of the house there as I exit to walk the dog at close to 10 p.m. Stalker. Creep. So I'm just going over here for a walk. I have to get something at the store here. Don't have the phone with me, but because there's cameras inside of the place where I live, of course whenever I get ready to go they know, so you had to see the guy right there set up as soon as I came outside. The timestamp on the glasses is not accurate either right now. It's off. It's actually like 9:40, I think, around there. Or the real criminals, not the people who are being targeted with these operations. Those are the people who behave in extremely creepy ways, like that. But yeah, so that guy there, he was, as soon as they saw me getting ready to go out, he got some sort of a text message there, because you could see he was positioned right in front of the house, literally, right just up a few feet from the house, standing there with the dog as soon as I stepped outside. And again, the whole thing is done to try and get the target to say something to this person, and then they can just lie and do the usual gaslighting things. And so again, I don't say anything to them and interact with them, just get the footage and show how obvious it is, these things that they're doing. But yeah, the whole dog thing, like for example, that situation where that woman showing up, oh look at this, a fire truck. As I'm going to the store, look at this. Check this out, a fire truck. Oh yeah. It must be a coincidence, you can see them pulling out. What a joke. As I'm going to the store, look at this. Check this out, a fire truck. Oh yeah. It must be a coincidence, you can see them pulling out. What a joke. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, they just pulled out right in front of me as I get to the store, the fire truck there. Dealing with nothing, of course. When did they ever deal with anything legitimate? Aside from those forest fires, which are being set intentionally, and then they're bringing these clowns on and saying that they're heroes when they're involved in the whole thing. These Masonic frauds. Another guy waiting here as for me to go in. You can see just sitting in a car, idling there. He's gonna go in probably as I go in there. Yeah, so the Masonic Stalker Fire Department, they're waiting for me. And of course, the usual lineup. Oh, fuck, just get out of the way, man. Fuck, as soon as you go to the door, there's like running into you. There we go. Yeah, that's the tenant, the other tenant. Why is she going this way? She always goes the other way. She always goes the opposite way. This way she's walking towards me. Look at this. That's the other tenant who lives at the house where I do. So she comes out just as I'm arriving. You can see there. She has to go to the recycling bins, of course. Give me a break. Right as I'm arriving home. Yeah. I'll go back down here. Of course, this is time so that when I arrive, she's just standing there now. Okay, now she's leaving. Yeah, see the way that was timed. She comes out to the recycling bins just as I'm coming back. Checks her phone. This is the tenant who I recently respectfully asked to quiet down, and she's taken it, you know, and started trying to twist it around, blaming me just for asking her to quiet down. So stop it. Leaving right when I arrive. What else is new? Same time exit entry as usual. I'm just about to leave now. This is the time I leave for work every night, pretty much. Of course, as I'm about to leave, right as I'm about to leave, they have someone going out and standing out there in the kitchen to time it with when I'm going to leave. So. You can see that there. As soon as I leave, she goes out and stands in the kitchen. Typical, that happens all the time. Right as I'm about to leave. She has to go out and do a bunch of work there or whatever. When I came home this morning, as you can see, she came outside right to the front here. And then as I leave tonight, she goes out and stands out there by the door. So. See how regularly that happens. That's obviously done to cause conflict, because I recently spoke to the landlord about this person making excessive amounts of noise. There's lightning. And the usual right here as you can see, directly as I'm across from them there. Yeah, so we want to see how regularly we're going to get footage of that. But yeah, I recently contacted him because that person there, wait till I get up there. So you saw that vehicle pulling up there right as I was directly across, and then another one coming up here, and the guy's getting out right as I come by. I've seen this guy before. This is the guy who was I have on the front of one of the, watch how slow, dragging it on, let's wait. That's fucking shit. I gotta check both sides of that one. No, look at this acting. Yeah, that was natural, right? So, okay, so you can see as I came over here, the vehicle there pulled up right while I was across. And then you have a bunch of people sitting out on their porch when we're supposed to get a thunderstorm. You could see lightning flashing there. It's just about to go. Now check this out here. Notice how long. So he just pulled up, right? Look at what's down. Supposed to time it to when I go by. This guy, I have him, you can see in the thumbnail of another video. Yeah, pulls up. checks both sides like 3 times. That looked natural. Ridiculous. You got the text message too, this creep. You'll see him in the thumbnail of one of the other videos where he came out right the moment I got there to his vehicle and was doing the usual thing where he, you know, takes forever and pretends that he's rooting around in it. You can see that little staged skit there, how long that took. So yeah, anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Up until recently, I'd never had anything but positive interactions with that person there, that other tenant there. But on what was it, on Monday, she's just making this non-stop she's just making this continual noise, and it sounded like someone was running a drill, and it would go on for like 10 minutes. So we got more people out here. So as you can see there's lightning flashing in the distance, and you got more people out on their porch here as I'm going by. Getting back to what I was saying, she's running like, I think it was, I don't know, a blender or something, like really loud, sounded like a drill. And she knows I have to sleep during the day. And of course, you know, you're going to get some noise in areas where, because the kitchen area, they use that a lot. I don't use the kitchen because I have a fridge and all that and an oven in my room and in the unit that I'm renting within there. So, but some of these people do. So she goes out there and you can hear everything there. And so she starts running this, I guess it was a blender or whatever, sounded like a drill, on and off for 2.5 hours all throughout the day, and like slamming stuff down over and over again. So I spoke to her and politely said, is it possible you could keep it down a bit? Like, because she knows I have to sleep during the day, that I work night shift. And then she kind of took offense to it. Now, I had spoken to her before about noise in the past, but the previous time she just said, yeah, okay, no problem. So this time she kind of, I don't know. I was very cordial, very polite when I spoke to her. And despite that, but the whole purpose of this, the whole thing is to try and create some conflict, because they know I'm always decent to the people anyone else who, the other tenants there, I'm always respectful of them. So they have to do something to provoke, so that they can use it as an excuse to, against me. Because I haven't had anything but, I treat people, all those people, anyone who has been a tenant there, with respect. So, but that's completely reasonable to ask someone who's been making noise continually for like 2.5 hours, if they could just be a little more courteous, knowing someone has to sleep. So then she starts trying to twist the whole thing around, and you know what they always do, just gaslighting and nonsense. So I just contacted the landlord, let him know. Also let him know that I had recorded it, so I have clear proof that this noise was going on for like 2.5 hours. And also, about an hour into it, I had spoken to her, and despite that, it still continued on for like another hour and a half, intermittently. So, after that, again, this person all the time when I'm leaving, when I'm coming home, leaves at the same time. This morning, as I was coming up the street, you could see her coming out there, right as I was coming up. She intentionally slowed down and just pretended to be going to the recycling bins and took extra long, because I was coming up from this side. Sometimes I come up from the other side of the street. And then tonight you could see right as soon as I was about to leave. So that in the morning when I was coming home, that was around 7:45ish. No, it's closer to 8. Sorry, 10 to 8. So sometimes she'll coordinate when she leaves with when I come home, because sometimes I'm like, there's like 20 minutes difference, but it doesn't matter because she coordinates it so that at least like 4 times a week she's leaving right when I come home. And at times she says, well, it's funny how you time it that way. And now everyone knows, because the other guy who had lived there had done the same thing, and the second tenant who had a unit next to mine continually did the same thing. So it's all done to cause conflict. And then tonight, you see, as I'm just leaving for work, she comes out and stands out there, making like she has to like mop up the area or something at like 9:20 at night. So what they're doing with that is they're telling her to go out there trying to have something said or whatever. But when there's a situation like that, if somebody is intentionally trying to cause conflict, that's fine. I'll say I won't interact with them, no problem, because I'm not going to talk with somebody when they want to provoke an argument. Now, everything I said to this person was completely reasonable, and then I brought it to the landlord. Unfortunately, he's out of the country right now. So on a previous occasion, I had brought some obviously unnatural noise to his attention when another tenant had been doing the same thing. This person on numerous occasions was doing this, but I had spoken to her one other time about it, and she said, okay, sorry about that, and she just stopped. So it's just like, but they are told to do that, no question, because there have been numerous people who do the same thing, and it goes on just for hours and hours. No one does that for like hours on end if they're just, preparing food or something like that. It doesn't take 2.5 hours of running what sounds like a drill, but I don't know, I guess it was a blender or something. Leaves like the moment I get there, and he looks at me. Shut up. One headlight car here. So yeah, so anyway, I expect now they're going to coordinate this all the time, because they're doing it regularly anyway. But all the time when I come home, she's leaving. And prior to that, for years, since I've awakened to this, and even sometimes before that, they were doing things like that, but I wasn't awake to it. People were doing that. So there's no coincidences at all in that situation. But they tell them to say things like it. They tell them to say things like, "Oh, it's funny how you actually show up when I..." Yeah, invert the situation, right? So what I'm going to do is capture footage every single time when that person, when I'm coming home, and she's leaving at the same time, leaving, and she comes out and stands out there right in the area where she knows I have to exit at like 9:20 p.m. intentionally to cause some sort of disagreement or whatever. I don't know. Like, again, if there's a situation where I have a disagreement with somebody and that person turns hostile, then I'm just not going to talk to them. That's it. When you have to share, if you're in renting a place, I'm not going to get into some argument with somebody there, because that's what they want to provoke. So, but I want to show this, that I want to document this, that this is being done. I'm also going to show it to the landlord if necessary, because there's only so many times something like that could happen, that every time you're leaving, and it's different times. So this morning, I came home later than I normally would. She comes outside just before I get up there and kind of stands there to wait, and pretends that she had to go to the recycling bin. So there's 100% she receives instructions to do these things. But the problem is, the reason they haven't been able to create some justification for her to cause strife is because I'm always nice to these people, right? I'm always very respectful. So it's harder for them to do that if you're always decent and respectful to them. And so she had been normally too, but she would be decent and respectful when you talk to her. But then her actions would be she'd do the same thing. There was a night there, right as soon as I stepped outside, she walks out the front door and just goes out and stands there on a cell phone on the sidewalk. And again, all with that type of thing, they're trying to get me to say something that she can twist around. So finally now, I've had a little bit of a disagreement with her after 6 months there. So now she's gonna say, "Oh, use this to make some excuse," twisting it around simply because I asked her, "Could you maybe be a little bit more courteous while people are trying to sleep, and you're out here making noise for 2.5 hours." It's not natural, right? So watch the amount of people we see here as I come up here. Yeah, so that's not natural. So again, I'm going to document that. I don't want to live there anymore, quite honestly. I've wanted to move for a while, but the only reason I've stayed is because the price is so reasonable. And like I said, in April or late March, I moved to Ottawa for a few weeks, and it was just awful in terms of the stalking and things like that. It was maybe even more there, because like every time I would go to the store, the police would show up, ambulances would show up. Here you get sometimes when I go to the store and they don't. But yeah, so realistically, I don't want to live there. But at the same time, it's hard to find a place for that type of price. So I'll probably have same time exit entry today, because they know that I've spoken to this person about extreme noise and spoken to the landlord about it. So she's unhappy about that. So simply because I pointed out that, like, when you're making extreme noise for like 2.5 hours, it disturbs people. It was very polite, but she took issue with it. So now they're gonna try and put her leaving whenever I leave all the time and coming home whenever I come home. Because anytime they sense that there's any sort of a disagreement, when they've reached their goal, and their goal is to try and create conflict for you all the time. So for me, I'm always like nice to these people. So to do that, they had to have her continually do something until I finally just respectfully said something about it. And then immediately her task was to twist it around and make me into some villain just for pointing out that she was making excessive noise. For like 2.5 hours. So that's where that's at now. So they're gonna have her doing the same time exit entry all the time now. Probably when I leave tonight, they'll have her do it again. Come out to the kitchen again. It's all because I'll know what it is, and it's all trying to provoke me to say something, which I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to ignore this person. They've tried it before with multiple other people, and they failed with getting me to get into some big argument with them, so they're using these people today. They haven't used them in a while. That's the stalker family there they used to use all the time. Today they're using them. Of course, they're using their kids, exploiting their children as well, as these creeps often do. They're going to pull out as I pass. Yeah, they're going to time it here. You can see on the left side, this lady just went out to her bin. That's her, right away. Of course, they use their kids for plausible deniability as well, and they exploit their kids in the operation. It's been a long time since I used them, but then again, at nighttime I go the other way, so. Already waiting in the kitchen, like I predicted. Predicted that. Let's see. Street data over here. Guy acting weird in front of Tim Hortons there. He's got his camouflage boxers on too, of course. Oh man. Waving his hands around in front of the window of Tim Hortons, which is closed. No one in there. Look at this, a fire vehicle. A bunch of fire vehicles parked here. the side here. Because they know I'm going to be crossing here, so yeah, the fire department vehicles there. Let's wait for the lights here. No one in them though, of course, because they're not attending to anything legitimate here. Okay, $50. What was that? No, 45 plus. So it was like 60 something. 60 something. 65. Oh, that's not bad still. Some necessities here. There's a black hooded sweatshirt over there, as usual. Look at this here, check this out, staring at the street here. Notice this, so I come down here. As I come down here, you got these two ladies here standing here staring out at the street. Just staring out at the street right there, you can see here. And then this guy here with the black hoodie, he was standing across the street by the bus stop. As soon as I come by, he crosses over, and you can see what he's doing here. He's kind of just like, it looks natural, right? Look at what he's doing there. Let's check it out. So he was standing over there by the bus stop. You can see that, right? As I arrived. He's standing over there by the bus stop, and they're standing over here making fake coffee noises and just looking at a tree. See what happens when you're going somewhere or whatever, and you stop and you slow down? Their assignment gets thrown off, and it makes it look unnatural. So now he's so he crossed over there. He's standing by the bus stop, sees me come. As soon as I come, you got these two people standing here, staring out at the street, and then he comes over right across to where I am. He wasn't obviously waiting for the bus over there. And then he just idles here, stops here for a minute, when he realized I had stopped, because he was supposed to probably go along the direction I was going, which is down there. So when he realized that I had stopped, you can see how awkward it got, and he just sort of lingered there awkwardly. And then he probably got the text or whatever just to move on. And then, so we're going to continue now. You can see how obvious. When you stop, that's what I'm saying, is when you stop sometimes, they're expecting you to go to what, they're expecting them to follow precise instructions. So if you stop and slow down, it throws that off sometimes, right? And it makes it look, you can see obviously that they've been told to do it, because in that situation there, he was standing at the bus stop, just idling by the bus stop. As soon as I arrived, he crosses the street, and then I stopped, right? And as I stopped, he just lingered there looking at a tree, like 15 feet in front of me, just standing there. And then when I waited for a bit, he knew it was going to look weird if he just continued to stand there. So then he carried on. So you can see two stalkers here, one standing there with a phone in front there, and then another guy by the Tim Hortons. And okay, you can see up here, there's another guy just standing in the middle of the sidewalk, checking a phone here as well. And look in the car, the skull. See if we get the police at the intersection. Dog walker wearing a black hoodie at the intersection there. You can see him there, checking a phone. Yeah, let's see if we get the cops. There's also going to be people flooding in behind me. See the guy with the camouflage coming up to the door here as I'm moving up. Yeah, they're going to have people moving behind me as I come up. Yeah. Okay, so dog walker with a black hoodie. Guy wearing camouflage pants going in just before me.